This video is brought to you by the Farmer Klein YouTube channel. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment.
Hello everybody, welcome back to the Farming Simulator 22 Map First Impressions video. Today we're going to take a look at Somewhere in Thuringia Part 3. But before that, this video is brought to you by Jonathan and Corpnut. Thank you for being farm barons. So Somewhere in Thuringia Part 3 can be found over at the farmingsimulator.com website or the in-game downloadable content menu. And since this is a 4X map, this map is going to be available for PC only. Let me read you a little bit of the description. Somewhere in Thuringia Part 3, welcome to the Ilm Valley. Now I have to say, I'm pretty sure my first introduction to this map or this area was the Somewhere in Thuringia map for Farm Sim 17. I honestly don't remember if I saw this map before or after I started doing Farm Sim content here on YouTube, but I do know that I was pretty much taken aback by this map, and it's one of those maps that you kind of always wish you'd got around to playing, but just never did. And as a result, you kind of always regretted it. And I have to say, I'm so glad to see it back here in Farm Sim 22, and my opinions of this map have not changed. This is a very, very beautiful map. Let's read some more. This is an original replica of the Thuringian area in the Ilm Valley around the small village of Dienstedt. I'm sure I butchered all of those names. Sorry, I'm not German. There is real elevation with Google Maps data. Buildings, streets are all modeled from scratch according to the area. What we can expect on this map are 4 farms and an area set aside for chickens, 2 farms that have a prepared BGA, 231 purchasable farmlands, 152 fields, purchase points for manure, slurry, seed, fertilizer, and lime, 6 production points, 7 sales outlets. We have real signage for orientation around the map. There is a custom growth calendar on the map based on the area. Now, this map does not include the ability to grow olives, cotton, sugarcane, or grapes. There is a custom soil map also on this map. This map is listed as being fully compatible with Maize Plus. Then there is the Relight mod that has been incorporated with the map. The start farm is on a beautiful farm of medium size in the heart of Dienstedt. That is, I guess, the town. For full use of the farm, the appropriate farmland must be purchased. In multiplayer, when you load this up, there are 4 farms that are pre-established. We're going to take a look at that here in a little bit. But when you start a multiplayer, you do not own any land. The starting land that you have in single player should be the starting land for farm number 1 in multiplayer. That's what the description says. After you buy farm 1 land, you can buy the other farms in any order you wish. All buildings from the starting farm, the contracting company farm, and the horse farm can be sold completely, including decorations. Important note, observe that there are required mods. So this map has 6 required mods. We're going to take a look at those here in a minute. Manure heaps must be placed by yourself, otherwise they are not recognizable by the game. Fail missions in multiplayer that go to one of the BGAs at one of the farms requires a front loader and contracting status at the appropriate farms. With that, let's go ahead and load on in. Now we are going to use the mods that we typically use when we take a look at maps. It is additional field info, additional game settings, field lease, field calculator, and precision farming. In addition to that, we have the required mods, which are the concrete bunker set U, cowshed 3+0. Then we have the modular BGA. We have then also the pigsty, the silo system package, and the Thuringian farm set. Those are all required mods that are a part of the download if you download this off of the game. If you download this off of the web, when you try to load up the map, it is going to require you to download those in single player. If you try to add this in multiplayer, you may get some issues until you download and upload these other 6 mods. Let's go ahead and load on in. If you do load this map up in farm manager mode or start from scratch, you will find the main farm is built out completely as you see it here. In fact, all of the farms are built out exactly how you see it here. You just do not own any land at the start. This is going to take a little bit to load in. It is a fairly large map with a whole lot of stuff going on. And here we are loaded in at the starting farm in single player, or should be the first farm that you buy in multiplayer. Let's go ahead and take a look at the PDA itself. As I said, this is a 4x map, so these fields are a lot bigger than they will initially appear. You can also see over here on our crop types, we are indeed missing olives, sugarcane, and cotton. We do have grapes. I misspoke earlier and said that we didn't have grapes on this map. We do have grapes, but we do not have listed olives, sugarcane, or cotton. That's not that big of a deal because we also can't sell those crops. So the lack of those crops will not hurt this particular map's ratings. Let's go ahead and take a look at the lands area. And in single player, we start about by owning the farmland 154, as well as field 84 and 58, or farmland 84 and 58 that are also tied to fields. Now, as I said earlier, there are 4 farms if you play this in multiplayer, or maybe you want to start out with a different farm than what we start out here in single player. Those other farms are a pig farm here at farmland 155, which you can buy for $206,000. We also have a horse farm at farmland 156 that you can buy for $705,000. We also have a farmland here at 153, which is going to be a horse farm. So the starting farm at 154 and the cow farm at 153. These are the 2 farms that have a BGA built into them using the modular BGA. Now, this farmland is going to cost you $3.5 million basically to buy this one. Then we have a chicken area at farmland 231. That's going to be $578,000 to buy. Now, before we go in too far up here to the farmland lease screen, I want to jump over into multiplayer, and I'm going to show you the predefined farms. And you're going to need to buy farmland 1 is going to need to be, or farm 1 is going to need to be 154. Farm 2 is going to be the cow farm, which is going to be 153. There's also, the pig farm is going to be farm number 3. And then the horse farm is going to be farm number 4. So let me just jump into multiplayer and show you what I'm talking about. So when we load this map up in multiplayer, there are some predefined farms. This is the main yard. That's what this translates to. This needs to be the farmland ID of 154. When you buy this, this needs to be 154. So the way we're going to do that is we're going to join this farm. We're going to come back up here to our farmland area, and we're going to pick 154, and then we're going to buy it. And now we have associated this area with farm 1. We're going to then come down here to farm 2. Now this shows a sheep, but this is really intended for the cow area because we have $5 million associated. So now we need to come up here to our lands area, and we need to select farmland 153 because that is the cow farm. And then we come back down here to our multiplayer. We have the pig farm. $725,000 is our starting funds there. So we're going to go ahead and join that so then we can buy that appropriate land. And again, that appropriate land is going to be farmland ID 155. And then we're going to come over here one more time to the horse farm, $1.2 million. And once we join that farm, we're going to come up here and buy that area, which is area 156. So now if we look at our multiplayer, we have $464,000 in the starting farm. For the cow farm, we have $1.5 million left over. The sheep farm or the pig farm has $519,000 left over. and the horse farm has just under $500,000 left over as far as getting your land and your machinery. Back in single player, let's go ahead and take a look at our farmland lease screen. And we're going to use the farmland lease screen to run down all of the buyable farmlands, how big those farmlands are going to be, if those farmlands include fields, which field or fields they include, and then ultimately how much are those farmlands going to cost you. So you can see we start up owning 3 farmlands, 58, 84, and 154. They are 2.14, 1.79, and 2.09 hectares, respectively. Fields 58 and 84. So it does look like overall the farm land number and the field number are going to be lining up, at least initially, which is good to see. We have our costs here. So we have basically $300,000 or just shy of $300,000 to buy these 2 fields if we wish to in some other play mode. So I'm going to go ahead and slowly scroll through this list. As you can see, we have fields that range anywhere from 32 hectares according to description, all the way down to less than 1 hectare, which is really nice to see because that means there's going to be quite the variability in farm sizes and hopefully farmland costs to really fit in with any player at any point in time. Now I'm going to quickly try to scroll through this list at any point in time. You can go ahead and pause this to get a little closer idea as to how much any one specific field or farmland is going to cost you. With that, let's jump over here to the field calculator screen. The field calculator screen is going to show us specifically the field and how big that particular field is, because we all know that the particular farm lands don't necessarily have to only include field sizes. So quite oftentimes the fields within a particular farmland are going to be a little bit smaller. So this will allow us to get a general idea as to how big each particular field is as compared to the farm land itself that we have to buy in order to get access to the field. And let's go ahead and take a look at the custom soil map that is a part of this map. If you do play with precision farming, we will have this custom soil map. We have a fair bit of silty clay on this custom soil map. Then we have loam, loamy sand, and then the least used soil type is going to be sandy loam. We do indeed have a custom growth calendar here on this particular map. As you can see, we also do not have listed cotton, sugarcane, or olives because, again, those are crops that are not available on this particular map. Taking a look at our prices screen, we do indeed have the ability to sell all of the base game crops that we can actually grow on this particular map. We also have the ability to sell our silage, hay, straw, or grass, as well as our animal outputs. And then as we move down through our production items, we do indeed have the ability to sell all of the base game production items that are available here on this particular map. We also have the ability to buy bulk lime. We also have a stone crusher. Now, with respect to our platinum expansion production items, we do not have a sell point on this map for the platinum expansion sell items. Now, that's not that big of a deal with respect to the scoring system because as of right now, we are not taking points off for not having the ability to sell platinum expansion items, but we will be looking into doing that in 2023. If you are playing this map with pumps and hoses, we also have the ability to sell our separated manure at the animal dealer. Taking a look at our starting fleet, we do have a fairly decent list of starting equipment. All of it is new, none of it is leased. Also taking a look at our animal area with the starting farm, again in new farmer mode, we do have a cow barn, and then we will need to buy the other farmlands in order to be able to make use of those particular animal areas. We will be buying those other farmlands before we get around to our flyover. Now, with respect to contracts, we do indeed have contracts available on this particular map. And in new farmer mode, the production that you start out with at the start is going to be mostly geared around the modular BGA that is a required mod with this particular map. So we have a small bunker. We also have the 150 fermenter. We have a small post fermenter. We have a liquid fermenter small, central digestate storage, and then a central liquid manure storage also that is a part of the starting farm. This map does indeed include 28 collectibles as well. Let's go ahead and take a look at our starting fleet. Start out with the Fendt Favorite 515C small tractor, as well as the Steyr 8150 small tractor. We have a Massey Ferguson 3670 medium tractor, the Nova 330 harvester that is paired up with the PowerStream 500 grain header, and the Nardi N40B header trailer. We have the Brantner Z18051/2 XXL PowerFlex trailer. We have the Servo 25 plow, the Cinto 4000 Super Cultivator, the Joker 4C disc harrow. We have the Aerostar Exact 600 weeder. We have the Trail 4140L mower. Then we have the Kuhn GA 4731 windrower, as well as the Pottinger Impress 125F Pro round baler. We have the RA 142 animal feed mixer. We have the Quickie Q6M front loader arms. For the front loader arms, we have the bale spike, and then we round it all out with a single 600 kilogram front weight. Taking a look at our mods and DLCs, we do not have any custom vehicles or machinery that is a part of this particular map. And with that, let's do a little bit of a farm tour around the starting farm. So we start here at a house, but this house does not have a sleep trigger. So as best as I could say, this is our farmhouse, but we do not have a sleep trigger pre-placed on this map. We do have the ability to sell all of the buildings that are here on the starting farm. In fact, we have the ability to sell most of the buildings that are on the other farms as well, with a few exceptions. This particular house is permanently placed here. We do have the ability to sell this front gate and this little bit of a retaining wall that comes up to the house. So this section right here we can sell. We also have the ability to sell the shed, these sheds over here. We have our farm silo located right here with several silo extensions. We have our dump and our fill area right there. Here we have our cow barn. So we can store 60 cows in this particular facility. We have our food trough and our straw trigger. Not Tigger. Here we have our milk trigger. Around the other side, we have our slurry point. We have a manure heap. We have our silage bunkers that are part of the modular BGA. Then we have our digester for the modular BGA. And the other various components that are all a part of that. We have our central liquid manure storage. We have our liquid fermenter small. And our small post fermenter. We have a fuel tank. It is currently empty. Decent machine storage. Then, as best as I can tell, we also have an upper deck area. This is part of the buildings of Thuringia. That is a required mod. Not really sure how we get up to this upper deck, other than maybe just having to walk up a a telehandler arm or something. Now let's go ahead and take a look at our build mode, because we do have several required mods that are a part of this map, and those mods are going to include buildings. So as far as sheds go, we have the Thuringian farm set that is going to include all of the custom buildings that are a part of this map, including the barn that we have here at our main starting farm. Under silos, we have then the concrete bunker U set that is again a required mod, as well as the silo system mod. The barn with storage. We have our manure heap, then our manure loading station that is also part of the Thuringian farm set. Silo extensions are part of the silo system package mod. Containers also a part of the silo system package mod. Under production, we have basically the pumps and hoses items, of course, and then also the modular BGA. That is a part of the required mods for this particular map. We have all standard selling points, greenhouses, orchards, and generators. We do have some custom animal areas that are either a part of the Thuringian farm set or individual required mods. See these here in a little bit. 2,500 chickens, 1,250 chickens, and 5,000 chickens in these facilities. Got our standard decorative elements for the most part. As far as paintable ground textures, we've got a fairly minimal list of paintable ground textures, and then our paintable grass textures. Let me go ahead and buy the other farms, and then we'll go ahead and get set up for our fly around. Now, since this is a 4X map, I have enabled speed movement, so we will be flying around the map a little bit faster than we typically would. Again, this is a 4X map. Let's go ahead and just kind of take a quick little spin around from the starting farm here. And just in front of us, kind of right underneath that hot air balloon, are the two 5,000 each chicken coops. Right, and I went ahead and bought those, so we'll be able to take a look at those here in a little bit. This map has lots of undulating land, very realistic layout as far as fields go. Really find this map just absolutely stunning. Absolutely stunning. If your PC will run this map, I think it is well worth giving it a try. So we've got our starting farm down here, our modular BGA, and we can, as I said, sell everything that is here at the main farm, with the exception of the farmhouse. Again, the farmhouse doesn't have a sleep trigger, so you can kind of be, left or right as to if that is your farmhouse or not. It's not that big of a deal because it's not really in the way. If you wanted to kind of delete all of these buildings and put your own down. And the fact that we have the modular BGA here, you could play and use the modular BGA, or you could sell all of this modular BGA stuff and use the pumps and hoses BGA items as well. Just some options that you have available to you. We're going to kind of follow this road and meander over to the first farm area, the pig farm. That's going to be kind of right in front of us. Again, you kind of get a little bit of a sense of how the lay of the land here is. There's a decent amount of forestry also available on this map. So given the fact that we do have platinum expansion now, you'll also be able to make use of your platinum expansion vehicles, put down the Silver Run Forest marketplace, and then you will be able to sell the platinum expansion production items. So up on this hillside, we have the pig area. We're going to be kind of taking a closer look at this during the drive around portion. We can sell all of the buildings here on the pig farm. I do believe that the house also remains here, but let's just check. Yeah, the house is also going to remain here. Again, it's not that big of a deal. Everything else can definitely be sold. Let's make our way down to the south, eastern corner of the map. Now, as far as production items, this map has 21 production items built in. Now, bulk of those production items are a part of the modular BGA, but I will want to go ahead and run through those with you. We have the middle bunker with bio grinder. We have a big bunker. We have a fermenter 200, a fermenter 300, a large post fermenter 1 and 2. We have the liquid fermenter small. We have 2 of those. We have 2 central digestate storage facilities. We also have 2 central liquid manure storage facilities. We have a small bunker. We have a fermenter 150. We have a small post fermenter. We have a grain mill, wine factory, bakery, carpentry, sawmill, and a seed factory. Seed and fertilizer factory. So what we have right here, this is going to be... Come on. This is going to be the liquid manure purchase point. So we're going to be able to buy liquid manure from that particular location. We also have the ability to buy manure from in here. And then this is the animal dealer sell point. And then the actual animal dealer trigger itself is located right there. Now here we are at the edge of the map. I really like how kind of the map just continues on. Right, the town continues on. I'm at the edge right now. I can't go any further. But if you were kind of lower down here, right, the map really just does look like it continues on. Really well done with respect to the map boundary, in my opinion. We're going to make our way up the the eastern edge of the map over a fair bit of forestry. We'll just kind of skim these treetops, and it will give you a little bit, I think, sense of the elevation changes that we've got going on here as we look across the map. Beautiful sight lines. So we are going to give the map a full point with respect to having production built in or areas set aside for such. While we don't necessarily have areas set aside, 21 production items built in, including the modular BGA, I think there's going to be plenty of options available to you. With respect to the ability to sell all of the base game crops, production items, and animal outputs, we are going to give the map a full point there as well. We are not going to deduct points for the fact that we do not have the ability to sell cotton, sugarcane, or olives, because the way the map has been set up, we also do not have the ability to make or grow cotton, sugarcane, or olives. So this is our lime mine. And when we buy the lime mine, we will be able to put our stones located in here. And then we'll be able to get our lime out of right there. Up here in the northeast corner of the map, we have the horse farm. And a little town associated with that. all of the buildings and pins and decorative elements can be sold here that are part of this horse facility. There are 2 horse pastures, one that is tied to the barn and one that is not tied to the barn. Should be able to merge several of these fields together if you should be so inclined. Although I have to say, since these are 4x maps, or this is a 4x map, these fields are much larger than one might initially think. Most of the northern part of this map is going to be agriculture. I think what we're going to do is we're going to kind of duck down here and run along this windy river on our way back down to town, where we have several production areas, several sell points, and the rest of the player farms. Now, with respect to, can the farms be customized? The main starting farm can definitely be customized. We do have the farmhouse that remains, but we can sell all the other farm buildings and decorative elements. We can sell all the items other than the house at the pig area. I'm not necessarily going to hold that part kind of against it. We can sell everything at the horse area. And when we get over here to the large cow farm, you're going to find that there are a pair of buildings that we can't sell there. So we are kind of here at the main town. Our starting farm is located off in the distance over there. We have a sawmill located right here. And then this is the large cow farm. And the large cow farm oddly has 2 of these buildings. One right here and one on the other side of the silo system. Those buildings cannot be sold. So we are going to deduct a 1/4 of a point, because that building right there and this building right here, for whatever reason, cannot be sold. I'm sure it is an oversight by the map author, but nonetheless, we are going to deduct a 1/4 point there. The rest of these buildings, yep, they can be sold. No problem whatsoever. Down here we have the grain mill. As well as a grain sell point. We have the 2 large chicken coops. Our grocery area. Sorry, this isn't our grocery area. I'm completely mistaken here. This is the... This is the carpentry facility. Okay, so then around the back, we have several spawn areas for our pallets. Now, these aren't showing up until we buy the land. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and also buy all of the production facility land, and we're going to see all the triggers pop up when we do that. Now that we've bought all of the farmlands and therefore all of the production items, you can see we now have our triggers. We have our pallet markers, our spawn points, and everything marked there as well. Let's go ahead and pick up our Mahindra. See where we have our spawn point for our vehicles. Decent sized spawn point, but You may want to be a little cautious if you're going to be buying large machinery here, because we do have not so bad of an area to get out, but we will need to be kind of cautious because we do have guardrails and signage, as well as trees that are fairly close to the edge of the road. We have our dealer trigger right here for a customized sell, repair, trade, repaint, etc. There's a fair bit of action going on here in the town, so we're going to need to take our time and kind of make our way around through here. So we have a restaurant, we have seed purchases, fertilizer purchase. Okay. So you have our restaurant dump point. Fairly tight roads in here, so maybe not the best for large machinery. May need to find some other way of getting your large machinery through the town. So in here we have the ability to buy lime. We also have the ability to... Interesting. Sell wood chips. We have a general sell point. And then we have the ability to buy seed and buy fertilizer. Right here. Now we took a look at this during the... no, we didn't take a look at this one, sorry. Here we have lots of things going on. So we've got buy points in here. We have production points. We have a sawmill board sell area. Then we have a wood sell area. Then we have the sawmill itself. So this is where we're going to be able to come to sell our planks and our boards. We're going to be able to just sell our logs right here, not associated with any sort of production. Over here we have our sawmill that we're going to be able to drop off our logs for the production aspect. We have our wood chip point. And then we have our spawn point for our pallets located right here. So we're going to be able to get a fair bit of pallets spawning in here at this particular facility before it's full. And over here we have the large cow farm. So we have our fuel point, fuel storage. We have a contractor building for machinery storage. Another large building with a maintenance trigger. A silage bunker. More vehicle storage. Another one of the modular BGAs. So here we have digestate storage. We have a digester, actually a pair of digesters. Liquid manure storage, fermenters, and the like. More silage bunkers. Like I said, we can sell everything that we've seen so far on this particular farm. This building is going to remain permanently. We have this farm's silo system. So we have our dump and fill pipes. Here we have storage for seed up to 50,000 liters. Storage for fertilizer up to 50,000 liters. And this building is also permanently a part of the map. We can't get rid of it. Again, I think that is kind of a error, but nonetheless, we will be taking some points off for that. We've got 160 cows in this barn with our milk trigger. Then we have our food trough and our straw trigger in here. We have our slurry point. We have a liquid manure slurry storage point. Then we have a second cow barn. Also. I thought there was a second cow barn. Hold on. Cow barn, yeah. Cow barn, there we go. Here, as I said, there was a second one. We have our second cow barn. Again, our milk trigger. And then we have our food, straw, and slurry. Right there. I think that has mostly covered what's right here in town. We have a fuel point. Also right across the street from the cow area. It's a little bit of in-cab driving as we make our way over to the grain mill. Really well done road network. I really like the river that runs through the map, as well as the just kind of lay of the land. So at this particular facility, we have two things going on. We have the mill sell point, and then we have the grain mill production facility. So we're looking at the mill sell point right here. And then the grain mill production facility is located right here. So we have our dump point for our grain. We have our pallet spawn point. And then we have our interactive trigger right there. Let's see if I can't make my way now over to kind of more of the eastern area of the map. Yeah, get you some really nice views of the countryside here. Now, with respect to the buildings that are available on the map, a large part of the buildings on the map are using the new texturing technique, either with respect to the walls or with respect to the 3D windows. Now, there are a few buildings scattered here and there that are not using those textures, using some older textures. So we are going to give the map 3/4 of a point with respect to using the new texturing technique and such. There we go. We're going to circle back down here to our chicken coops. Can't skip out on our chicken coops. I mean, these are going to hold 5,000 chickens after all. And then once you buy this facility, again, you'll have the ability to make use of these facilities. The triggers will pop up. Each of these is going to hold 5,000 chickens. So we have our animal point. We have our food trigger. And then as far as our eggs go, well, not really sure. Oh, here's one spawn point for the eggs. So the other spawn point for the eggs must be right here for this particular facility as well. So there we go. And we can sell those buildings if we don't want to do chickens, but we want to make use of this particular plot of land for something else. We can buy this area and then sell these buildings. This is the production area that we took a look at during the flyover portion. So we have our dump point. I believe this is going to be a wood cell. Yep. And this is going to be the carpentry facility. We have our interactive icon there. Second up point, we have a wood cell trigger over here. Then we have a pallet spawn point right there. And then this is where we're going to pick up our wood chips. So we take a look at our production. So we have the carpentry, which is going to take wood or planks. We're going to make furniture and wood chips. We have the sawmill facility, which is going to take wood only and make planks and wood chips. Then we have the seed and fertilizer point yet. We haven't seen that yet on the map. It's going to take wheat, barley, oat, manure, and slurry and make seed and fertilizer. Then we have the grain mill, which is going to be our typical grain mill. Our lime factory is going to take stone and produce lime. And then up here we have all of the modular BGA items. Now, this particular video is not going to dive too far into the modular BGA and how all of that works. I'm pretty certain I covered the modular BGA when it first released in my new and noteworthy mod review series. We'll put a little tickle to possibly that video up in the upper right corner for you to go check that out. That'll get you a little bit up to speed on the modular BGA. and all of those various components. I think this would make a really, really good map for multiplayer. In fact, I'm considering a multiplayer setup for this particular map at this point in time. We're going to be headed over here to the marker that's beside field 77. Should find it over here. I believe it is a slurry storage point. Remember, this is over here where we have the pig farm. So here we have slurry storage. We're going to come over here to the small municipality where the pig area is located. Again, fairly narrow roads here. Guardrails do have collisions, as do these poles. That's something to be extremely aware about. We also have traffic on this area, so again, very cautious with your machinery coming through here. If you've got something that's wider than maybe 6 meters. This is going to be our seed and fertilizer factory. So we have our dump point for our seeds. We have our interactive icon. We have our dump point for our liquids. And then we have our fill point for fertilizer and seed. Now we'll make our way up the hill to the pig area. So up here we've got a nice 3-bay shed. We have our pigsty, 100 pigs in this facility. We also have a silo for pig feed right there. Slurry, pig food. And down to the next level, we have storage. We have a silo. We have our dump point. We have our fill pipe. We have a seed storage silo. We have a fertilizer storage silo. Then we have a fuel silo right there. Again, this house is permanently a part of this. We can't sell it, but we do have the ability to put down, if we want, a sleep trigger. Kind of just like we did with our flyover. I think I'm gonna make our way kind of through this forested area. On our way up to the stone crusher or the lime production area. I like it when our forests are not flat. We've got nice rolling hills here. The trees themselves aren't super dense. Frame rates are extremely well. I'm not feeling any sort of hitching, catching going on. Hopefully that's coming through quite well on the recording. Gonna make our way over here. It's been a while since we've looked at a 4X map, right? It takes quite a long time to drive around with a 4X map. We're just gonna quickly duck through here, a little bit of a shortcut. If you'd be interested in joining a multiplayer of this map, let me know in the comments. Come join the Discord. Like I say, I'm thinking about starting up a multiplayer on this map. Multiple farms, multiple farmers. Now this road's really nice. I like this. This is cool. Nice road through the countryside. Little logging roads spurring off. We got to deal with traffic on these little narrow roads. Not for everybody. Some people may decide to turn off traffic. That is, of course, your prerogative. And here we have our stone crushing facility. We have our lime purchase point. We have our stone quarries. And again, that is going to be, remember, stone quarries is where we are going to be taking our stones to. To the stone quarry. Then we have the lime factory. So here we can buy lime. Here we have our stone quarry. Our sell point for stones. Oops. And then around through here, we have where we're going to deposit the stones in order to eventually make our lime. Now, this map does not have a biogas plant kind of individually. There are two of the modular BGAs that are associated with the starting farm and then the large cow farm. I like the fact that we could, if we wanted to, sell those modular BGAs and put down a standard FS22 biogas plant placeable, or with the advent of pumps and hoses, put down a pumps and hoses biogas plant. Again, the map border is done so well here. The visual part of the map continues on. The only way we know that we're coming up to the border is those border X's. Now, with respect to the last scoring metric, player and interactive areas clearly marked. I do personally feel that these player and interactive areas are clearly marked. We have the yellow and black marker triggers at the various areas for pallet spawning and dump stations. So we are going to give the map a full point there as well. So that's going to wrap up this map with a score of 4.5 out of 5. Now here, this is the last area. This is the last player farm. We have a nice storage facility. Right on the side here, we have the 2 horse pastures. So it's going to hold 10 horses. So we have our horse drop-off point. We have our water. We have our food. Then we have our second facility that's going to hold an additional 10. Again, with our water and our food. We can sell all of these decorative elements. So if we wanted to, we could buy this area, completely clear it out, and put down our own farm. We have an indoor rink here. Fancy seating area. Training area. Look at this. Really cool details. So guys, that is it. That is Somewhere in Thuringia, Part 3. This map, again, I remember seeing in FS17. I really like this map, and I never got around to playing in it. For whatever reason, I really wasn't that interested in this map in FS19. Not really sure why. But when I saw it drop today for FS22, I thought, you know what? Maybe it's time, and I do think it is. I think it's time that we spend a little bit of time here on Somewhere in Thuringia. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. What do you think of this large 4X map? Lots of forestry going on. Sorry, lots of fields. Also, kind of narrow roads, traffic, lots of elevation changes. Just overall, a very, in my opinion, a very, very attractive map. And until next time, happy farming.